Let's see what they got. Look at that front and center. Got Falcon front and center. That. Iceman and that. And that. Wow. Yeah, what's that? Avengers Assemble. Rivals. Hey, there's a wallet. That. Anything new there? No. What's that? That's Grizzly.
No, I called my insurance rep that night.
Let's see. Oh, they got a Rivals blocky. Check that out.
Friday, Saturday, left on Sunday.
They got that.
Had to have somebody bring me all the way back down.
Let's see what else.
Arranged to get a trailer.
Okay, let's see.
On that Monday.
Wow, $80.
Trailer that Monday.
Spider-Man brand new day.
All the way back to Bowman, Georgia.
And
loaded bike.
wow, SHFigarts.
Same night, all the way back down to
Unreal.
where I live at. So now I'm gonna go for over 6 hours after working on.
I would have gone. They gave up.
Got up Tuesday, went to work.
Wow.
When I got off of work, with the bike on the trailer, on my truck, on the base. Got off on Tuesday, left the base, went straight to Harley, dropped the bike off. So I wrecked it on Friday.
All right, let's see.
We're playing no game.
What's over here?
I need y'all to fix this.
What's over here?
I gotta get back on iron ASAP.
So,
I think my entire
got that. That. Wonder Woman's still here. $36.99. Wow. Sinestro's still here. Hey, look at that. They still got Batman. So that's cool. Superman. And Hawk Girl. No chase on the Hawk Girl, but let's see what's this. Now that's different. Arkham Knights. I got Arkham Knights. That's a new one. So they do have him in. Man, I got 2 Arkham Knights. Let's see what else. Anything? Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Christopher Reeve Superman. Black Canary. So I'll just put these back where they were. And let's see where else. And that. Anything else? Anything? Huh. So there's Grunt and Wild Bill. They're a part of that wave. They're 30. Let's see what else. Hey, look. There's Grunt. Same Super Friends Batman, but there's Grunt, folks. That's cool. That is really cool.
The very first car I saw was a silver Toyota Ford.
So that's neat. Yeah, so really sweet. So yeah. So I can get that to stand up. It's just too bright right there. We'll just put it down here. How about that? There we go. So that is really sweet. I would like to have Grunt. He's a very, very basic figure, very basic character. But one of the originals, I'd really like to get him. And I think I'm going to hold off. I'm going to play the waiting game and see what happens. Play the long game and see what else there is. So I'm not seeing anything else. Anything hidden? Nah, it doesn't look like it. No, nothing hidden. How about over here? Anything? It's OMAC, Christopher Reeve, Superman. We'll see if anything was, putting away. Now it's a Lobo right there, so nothing there. Alright, so let's see what's over here. Alright, so got Boba Fett, got the whole wave still. Look at that. The whole wave is still here of the droids. Check that out. Alright, so alright folks, there's something going on here. I don't know what's going on exactly, but I'm gonna have to check it out. Let me just go ahead and check out what the deal is right now. It's kind of something. There's a lot of talk up here up front. So I'll get right back to you. All right, hold on.
One ninth-grade student was hurt in a shooting at Warner Robins High School.
2 students had been taken to the hospital after a reported shooting on the Warner Robins High School campus.
We begin with breaking news. In Warner Robins in Middle Georgia, 2 students have been injured and another student wounded in a school shooting.
One person is in police custody and 2 others are injured after a shooting at Warner Robins High School in Houston County.
A student has been injured in a shooting that took place at Warner Robins High School.
We understand that a shooting has unfolded at Warner Robins High School.
A person shot on the campus of Warner Robins High School.
Got a gunshot wound. I got a gunshot wound.
Where you got a gunshot wound? Where are you in the school?
G36, G Hall. Hey, you go to the front office and wait for them to get here.
All units, code 1 until further. Code 1, Warner Robins High School. Station 6, stand by for a call.
Right leg into the left leg. In the thigh.
Clear. Is it on a juvenile?
Yep.
All right, folks, it's about 6 p.m. and I am heading on out of town. And I just wanted to get a picture. I wanted to find out where the school was. So I wanted to get a picture. I wanted to get some video, rather, of what, what the school looked like live. Okay, I wanted to see for myself what the school looked like. And that's the school right there. And I'm heading on out of town, and I just want to capture, this could be a school in any of your towns, any of your cities, any of them. Just keep that in mind, any of your cities. Something needs to change. Something. All right, folks, welcome to yet another early morning edition of the Feast or Famine Toy Hunt. Will it be disappointment? Will it be delight? Will it be boom, or will it be bust? And that, my friends, is for the stores to decide in which stores will be doing the decision making on this early Thursday morning. And once again, it's going to be another 1-2 punch, pow pow. And I'm heading over to both Walmarts here. So the first one being the Acrosstown Walmart. And then I'm heading over to We're Not a Toy Store, the band Walmart. Folks, you're probably wondering why my demeanor is so subdued. Okay? You're probably wondering, well, where's all the boisterousness? Boisterous, is that a word? Yeah, that is boisterous. Well, boisterous is, so I guess boisterousness should also be considered a term. Where's that loud intro? And I know some of you are probably thinking, oh great, he's going to start complaining about his views again. No, this has nothing to do with anything like that. In fact, I didn't even know if I was going to even bother doing this today. But as the thumbnail showed, okay, as the thumbnail shows, okay, first of all, let me give you a little context, all right? I know that some of you out there, you know, you travel from state to state, and every so often, and very, very few times, do I ever, you know, leave the state and I have business elsewhere. And I usually don't even talk about any of that. But, in fact, I never really talk about that. Usually if I go anywhere, if I talk about where I'm doing any hunting or anything like that, it's usually the places that are nearby, you know, the cities that are only within, say, about 30 minutes or so out of the area, 30, 45 minutes, something like that. But when it comes to the out-of-state stuff, I usually don't even bother with that. I like keeping everything as ambiguous as possible, you know, I like keeping everything as just up in the air as possible. And yesterday was kind of a sobering situation. So I know there's a lot of toy tubers out there. I'm not gonna say a lot. I know there are some toy tubers out there, myself included, that have traveled through the state of Georgia doing their hunting, and they have traveled through some of the smaller cities in Georgia, and stopped, done some hunts, as have I. And you know, one of those being a city, I wouldn't necessarily call it a small town. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's bigger than normal, you know, the normal small town. It's kind of stretched out, and it's just south of Macon, and it's called Warner Robins. Okay. And yeah, they got some big air base, some Air Force base over there, and that's apparently what they're known for. But, you know, whenever I'm in that area, Macon, the whole mid-Georgia area, that whole Macon and Warner Robins area, I'll go in there and try to do as much hunting as I possibly can and filming. But you know, to be perfectly honest, I can't find anything in that area most of the time. Not really. But yesterday was a very, very sobering situation for me. And I'm going to spend this entire hunt talking about this. And I know some of you are probably going, will you just get to it? Just spit it out. I'm going to do that. So folks, while I was in town, while I was in Warner Robins, I made it a point that I was going to do some afternoon hunting, and I was going to try to hit the GameStops they have. I was going to hit that mall they have over there, see what they have over there still. You know, I was maybe even try to head on out to the alleys that they have. Well, while I was in GameStop, man, this is it just, you never think it's gonna happen anywhere near you. You just don't. No one ever does. So I can just imagine what it's like with the people that live in these towns. But you know, yesterday, while I was attempting to hunt at a GameStop, there was an employee who was, I don't know if they're supposed to do this or not, but this employee was on their phone and they're watching the news. Okay? Watching the news, and they said, oh my gosh. So immediately I looked up, okay? But oh my gosh, there's been a shooting. There's been a shooting at the school. What the heck? So I immediately stopped what I was doing. And I walked over and I said, which school we're talking about? She said, there's been a shooting at Warner Robins High. Well, I don't know where that is. I have no clue where any of the, where any of these schools are. But apparently, this person that worked there at a GameStop, I guess lived there, and was familiar with the area. She says, the school's not that far away. The school's only about, it's kind of across town, but it's not that far. It's only about 10 minutes away. And I said, well, are they saying what's going on? And she said, no, it's breaking news. It's breaking news as it's happening. There's a lockdown at the school, and apparently there's been gunfire. Local high school. So that just ruined my day. It did. I'm not involved in it, okay? And by the way, folks, I am not one of those influencers, because I'm not an influencer at all, but I am not one of those people, those influencers that would immediately go on as it's happening, or immediately, get to their car and then turn the cameras on themselves and then just start running off at the mouth before they have any information. And just spouting stuff off just to get stuff out first. And they have to get their reaction in. They have to. Oh my gosh, gotta get my reaction in. Gotta get my opinion in. Oh yes, I have to do that. Before you know anything is going on, right? And so anyway, it killed the hunt for me. It killed my mood. It killed everything. Because as I'm doing what I'm doing, trying to have a little fun, at that very moment, apparently somebody got shot at a high school. So I just stopped filming. I just gave up. I was like, nope, okay, I'm calling it. I had already done my morning hunt in my own town. I already did my morning hunt. And yeah, it was kind of a bummer in a way, because, it was the first time I'd gotten out of the area, out of state for quite a while, because I normally don't. I usually don't have the opportunity. But, I just had to think about it. I was like, I could care less at this point. You have to have some priorities going on. You have to. You have to prioritize everything, your feelings, everything. You have to think about this. It's like, what's the point of doing this when something that could possibly be a tragedy is occurring only miles away? So I stopped. I stopped. I know a lot of people probably say, that's just stupid. That's stupid. It's not happening to you. It's not happening anywhere near you, technically. It's not affecting you. So why does it matter? Just keep doing what you're doing. I would have done that. I would have just gone ahead and I'd have kept filming. I just probably would have just talked about it while I was filming. That's you. That's you. So when I got home and I was watching the news, I got home in time to turn on the local news, and I was just seeing, was there anything, even though it's another state altogether, and are they going to talk about it? So I went online, and yeah, there's a few things online about it, but it didn't make national headlines apparently at this point. I don't think, even as of this morning, it hadn't really made national headlines technically. But I'm turning on the local news just to see, is anything going to be mentioned? And yes, they did. They did. They did talk about how there's a town in central Georgia where there was a high school shooting. So what had happened was, because I like to get all the information first. I'm gonna wind this window up. I'm tired of shouting. So as it turns out, there was an altercation. Okay, so again, I like to have the information first before I say anything, before I offer, because I don't want to come off looking like a complete ignorant imbecile. All right, just because there's so many people out there. There's so many professional news companies out there. All right, that want to get stuff out first. They want to get it while it's breaking. And they want to talk about it before they have all of the facts, all the information. I want to have the facts first, Jack. And that's a fact, Jack. But the situation is that there was an altercation in a bathroom in a high school, okay? And these are 9th graders, people. These are 14-year-olds. 14-year-old boys. And there was an altercation in a bathroom. Now, how many of you in the past, when you were going to school, did you ever did you ever be concerned about when you went to the bathroom and you ever got picked on in the bathroom? Okay, it's like kids just love going to the bathroom because there's no other place to bully another kid. There's no other place to pick on another kid. There's no other place to gang up on another kid when you're in school than a bathroom. Not really. Which is stupid because more than likely you're still going to get caught. Hey, I could park right there next to the stall thing, but I don't know what that is. Oh my gosh, that's a shoe. It's a pair of shoes. A pair of shoes. I'm parking next to a pair of shoes. Okie dokie. But anyway, yeah, I feel bad. I feel guilty doing this hunt. I feel guilty talking about this now, here and now, and yet I'm going to go inside this store and I'm going to do my hunt. And then I'm going to come back and talk about it some more. And it just feels weird. The whole thing feels weird. Just like if I would have filmed, like really filmed the full hunt while knowing all this was going on. Just would have felt weird. And so again, the part of me didn't even want to do this morning, but I feel like the drive itself, the drive gives me the opportunity rather to get this out, to talk about this. So anyway, there's an altercation between two boys, and it got heated. It got very heated, and one of the boys pulls out a gun. And then he shoots the other boy in the leg. Now, the original sheriff's account was that there were two victims sent to the hospital. Turns out there was only one. The shooter, he took off. He ran. He took off to a nearby neighborhood. Where he was subsequently caught. Okay? This is not a situation where the shooter shoots a bunch of people and then ends up taking their own life. Okay? Fortunately, that didn't happen. This boy brought a gun to school, and the whole reasoning behind it is still out there. Okay, it's nobody knows yet. It's still under investigation, so none of that's been revealed just yet. But the one boy shoots the other boy in the leg, takes off, and fortunately, there was a first responder. I think it was a deputy. A sheriff's deputy, I believe. Anyway, he was there, and he immediately was on the scene within minutes, and he was starting to put tourniquets on the boy, apparently, on that injured leg. And looks like the boy got shot. He's gonna live. He's gonna be fine. But what's not going to be fine, is the fact that this school now has to deal, this school now goes on that list, that national list of high schools that have experienced a shooting of some sort. Folks, I'm going to head on and do this, okay? I'm not going to sit out here and burn gas. I'm going to head in. So across town Walmart, will it be a disappointment? Will it be delight? Will it be boom? Will it be bust? Heading on in to find out. And I will get back to this when I get done, all right? All right. Okay, as I'm getting out of my car, not just one, but two shoes. What the heck? Very, very ominous. Really, really weird. Very strange, folks, very strange. All right, heading on in. All right, so we got a dollar shop here, like normal, a dollar shop, and the dollar shop is showing pretty much same old, nothing out of the ordinary. Okay, this is formerly the back to school area. Holy smoke, look at that, it's all empty now. I wonder what they're gonna put there. Normally they put seasonal stuff, but man, it is completely empty. Kind of reminds me of the great toilet paper famine of 2020. All right, folks, so back here, I'm going a different direction. I got quite a few employees up there up front, so I didn't go the normal way. And really, there's nothing here any different than before. SSDD. You got these little figures. Now, I don't know if these are the metal ones. Yeah, these are metal. So these are basically just, I think they're little statues. But I love how they say now trending, and look how many they have. Can't be trending that much when you have that much. Alright, let's keep moving. Alright, coming up the back end of this aisle, just to be disappointed again, I'm sure. Yep, there's still the same cash grab crap right there. And yeah, so no change, nothing different. Let's keep moving. All right, so let's see. You know, I wish they would get the original Ultraman in. Okay, this isn't my Ultraman. I just wish they get the original one back in. So I don't know how many of y'all out there actually, been an Ultraman fan or not. But hey, look, Penguin is actually open. Somebody took the sleeve off. Oh man, somebody bought Batman. I just realized Batman is gone. Now the Beast Kingdom one's there, but somebody actually bought that NECA one. Rats. I don't know if I'll get those back in or not. I was really on the fence about getting it too. But yeah, there's the Penguin. So, all right, same stuff. SSDD, folks, same stuff, different day. So let's just keep on moving, Yeah, like I mentioned yesterday, they have shrunk this down and the header is gone. I wish I would have, I don't know if anybody knows where that thing is. I mean, if I ask, maybe it's still here. Maybe it hasn't been destroyed, or, wait a minute, hold on, what's this? What is this? That's a piece of header right there, but that's not the big one. That's just a little piece of header. But, that's just a little piece of that header. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna ask if I can have that. It's just a little piece, it's not the big thing, it's not the giant one that I would really like to have, the 3D looking one, but that is still kind of cool. So I'm gonna ask somebody and see what they say. Are they going to allow me to take this with me or not? Because it was pretty much dropped down in there. And there's no other place for it. Can't fit anything. So I guess we'll just see what happens, all right? Okie dokie. Smokey, there we go, Lando. How's it going, buddy? patron saint of peg warmers. Once again, I come over here. I don't know why I continue to film this side because there's really not a lot. It's so ironic because what I was just talking about on the way over here, and I'm going to continue talking about throughout this hunt, at least on the drive. You know, I was talking to an actual store associate, and I found out some interesting information about that whole shooting situation, and I'll share that with you once I get back in the car. It's not, I'm not going to do it here, but I'm not really seeing anything. Hey Skeletor, what you got to say to me this morning? I am Skeletor! Yes you are, yes you are. Alright, still got 3 wheelies. 3 wheelies that are wheelie not cheap. I know that was really bad, wasn't it? That was wheelie bad. That's a wheelie bad joke for that wheelie. I'm trying, folks. I'm really trying this morning. Oh boy. Yeah, there's nothing. No change. Oh my gosh, really? Did somebody freaking steal something again? Look at that. Look. This comes from something. Somebody went ahead and broke into something, ripped off something. It does not surprise me. Yeah, sourpuss look on his face. That's heel Cena. That's heel Cena, folks. No change when it comes to the Motus, though. Nothing at all. Nothing. So, yeah, that's basically it. Okay, what is this? Robo Alive. This is a hand. Hold on, wait a minute. Let's look at this. That is a hand. A cross. So, apparently, like Thing, I guess. You know how from the Addams Family. So this would be like if Thing came out of the box. That is really cool. Kind of creepy, but that's really cool. Check that out. Oh, that is sweet, folks. That is so creepy, but dadgum. That is neat. A running hand. Oh man, I wonder how much that is. Oh well. I have to check on that at some point if it's still here. I'm just gonna get through this first. We'll see if it's here next time I'm here, and we'll see if Lynn is still here hiding in the back. Yeah, there's Lynn back there. So we'll go ahead. For anything else? Nah. Looks like that's basically it. So I'm gonna go ahead and look at the other, the clearance sections, and if I don't see anything else, then the camera will not be coming back on. How about that? So for right now, let's just consider this to be a hunt done. Guess what, folks? I have permission to take this with me for free. Yes. Unbelievable. The store associate was so nice about it. Sure, just go ahead. Even gave me their name to say up front, just in case they stop me and say, no, you can't take that. So, awesome sauce, folks. Awesome sauce. It'd be really nice to get that side piece right there. That'd be really cool if I could cut that down. I like that. So we'll see. Who knows? Maybe I can salvage a little bit of that. We'll see if I can get any more of these. And how about that side? That'd be cool to have too. Yeah. All right. So anyway, let's just keep moving. All right. Let's see. A lot of changes. A lot of consolidation. Oh wow, that's a. Looks like they were trying to tape that together. But you know, it's crazy. Yeah, it's still here. At my first glance, I could have sworn this was a Mattel. And I think I've shown that it's not, you know, even with the logo change there. So this must have been late in the licensing, because it does have the new logo, or not the new one, but they went back to the older one that everyone's familiar with. And you know, this being this is Spin Master, and wherever it is, it's under somewhere. There it is, right there, Spin Master. But you could have fooled me, because you got Mattel quality right there. So at least first glance, without actually going into it and looking at it real good. But still, and it's tempting, but I'm not into that kind of Batman. That's not my Batman, but hopefully it's somebody's. $17.50, maybe somebody's gonna want it. Let's see, anything else? Anything else? There's that Tetris that I'd be tempted to get, but somebody already, apparently it's brought back, it's all taped up. So, here, brought back, or somebody tried to steal it. Looks like that's it, folks. There's a bunch of, it's all been changed up too. It's constantly changing. So, alright folks, let's just leave it on that. How about, oh look at, hold on. Look at this. Lego Yoda. Unbelievable. How much is Lego Yoda? And there's no clearance price. But, wow. Lego Yoda. Okay folks, well, that's going to be it. So let's just consider it to be a hunt done. Non-toy rockets in flight. This is a delight. Check it out, folks. They let me have it. Unbelievable. I explained at the door and they said, okay, it's fine. Go ahead and take it with you. This is gonna look sweet in the bygone room. Woohoo! Yeah! Thank you, across town Walmart. All right, let's get to this. Let's get back to what I was originally talking about. All right, folks, you saw what I saw, and what I saw, nothing to see here, except a little cool piece of memorabilia. Yes, for free. Amazing. You know, I from the way they've treated me in the past, off and on, but it's just crazy what I came here. It's just crazy. I did not expect to walk away with a piece of Spider-Man Brand New Day shipper. Now, it's not the big, the giant, and the thing is now I am pretty sure somebody did walk away with it. You know, because they're saying it's being destroyed, it's being thrown away, and right now it's hitting me in the ear. But, I mean, this piece is hitting me in the ear. But, yeah, somebody probably walked away with that big piece. And I guarantee you, it is going to be on eBay. I'm telling you, it's going to be out there. It's going to be on eBay. Somebody's going to want $1,300 for it. You just watch. But this piece is not for sale, folks. This piece is going to go in the bygone room. I think it is so cool, so sweet. You know, when I was younger, and it breaks my heart, because I do have pictures of this, and if I can dig up those pictures, I will show you. But it breaks my heart because I used to have two different, they're not shippers, but they were those big cardboard 3D displays at the video stores for two different movies. They were so cool, so cool. And it breaks my heart when I think about this, when I talk about this. It really does. But, oh, you know what, before I get to that, let me just say, SSDD, same stuff, different day, just to be consistent across the board here. But, yeah, I just derailed myself by doing that. But yeah, when I'm getting back to those displays, I used to have a Superman 4, and I know the Quest for Peace, and I know so many people are probably thinking, ugh, Superman 4, but it was just a cool display. I got it from a video store, and it was so sweet. And they just let me have it. I was the first one to ask about it, put my name on the back of it, and they let me have it. And it sat in my room, my bedroom, when I was a kid for years. Then I had a Darkman, and that one was a really, really, really sweet display. And that one, gone. And I tried, okay, first of all, the reason why I don't have them anymore. Did I sell them? No. What happened was, when I moved out of my parents' house, I stored those in my parents' outside garage in the backyard. And unfortunately, I did not take into account that that garage was ever going to flood. And I did not store it up high. I had them kind of down low on some low boxes. And then at some point, at some point, those two displays, along with a Golden Age Superman display that I was able to get for free from the post office, my local post office that had it back during the day when they were putting out those stamps. What was it, in the mid to late 90s, I believe, somewhere in that time frame? But it was Superman stamps, and they had this big display. And I asked, could I have it? And they said, sure. And I had to wait. I had to wait about a month. And then they gave me a call, and I went and picked it up. And I had it in my room. It was so cool, so freaking cool. Again, this one as well went into storage. When I moved out, I put that stuff in storage. And unfortunately, they were laying down, and it got the garage flooded really bad. And the Superman 4 Quest for Peace and the Darkman displays, just a total loss. And you know, it had been a while since I went back there at that point. It had been a while. They'd been sitting there. So I didn't realize that there had been a flood at that point. And then when my dad told me, and I went, oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding. So I went out there, and that just mildew, moldy, covered, just, it was awful. It broke my heart. However, the Golden Age Superman I was able to salvage because it was only at waist. Was it waist high? Yeah, it's waist level. It's where the seam is. It's where that seam was, where it bends, and where, you know, where they had it folded down when they had in their box. And so there was a seam, and from that point down, with the belt, the waist, all that, the feet, all that, the legs, all gone, all ruined. So I took a pair of scissors, heavy scissors, and cut that up. And sure enough, I was able to salvage that Superman from the waist up. And it sits to this day in the bygone room. So yes, it is kind of a reminder. In one way, it's a kind of a reminder of what I'd lost, but it's also a very serious reminder of what I was able to save. So, you know, that was cool. That really was cool. Okay, now let's get away from all that. You saw what you saw what I saw, blah blah blah. I want to get back to what I was talking about. And I know, once again, it's a bummer. And it's really hard actually to enjoy anything. It really is when something like this occurs. But you know, and folks, if you don't want to hear this kind of stuff, then just flip to something else. Go ahead, just flip to something else. If you don't want to be bummed out, if you don't want, you know, me to be a buzzkill for you when you're watching this, just go to something else. I get it. I understand. It's uncomfortable. Nobody wants to think about it or talk about it. But new information, apparently, and I don't know for a fact, so take everything what I'm about to say with a grain of salt, okay? Everything. But stayed away now. Stayed away. And word has gotten out. Now, this is not made national news, so I don't know if this is just people finding out on the internet. Because it certainly wasn't on my local news this morning. They hadn't talked about this. I mean, it's in another state altogether, so I mean, you know, why would they? The detail I'm about to tell you. Yes, they still talked about the shooting over in central Georgia. But this is what is alleged. And I'm again, take it with a grain of salt. I don't know if this is correct or not. And I don't want to spread misinformation. So you know what? I'm not going to. I'm second guessing myself here, and I'm going to keep this information to myself because I cannot verify it. And if I can't verify it, it's best if I just keep my mouth shut and not move forward with it. So let's just talk about this part of it. So, unfortunately, the way it sounds, that school doesn't have it doesn't have the metal detectors at all. Does not have the metal detectors. And so that kid was able to get that gun in that school. Now, the thing is, my initial thoughts were, was this kid being bullied? Was one kid bullying another kid? And then that kid went ahead, like so many, it seems in the past, you get this bullying situation going on. Bullying, and it just piles on and piles on until finally the person being bullied cannot take it anymore and just snaps and decides, you know what? I'm putting an end to the bullying. I'm putting an end to all this misery, and I am going to end them. I am going to end the bullies or the bully. And they do. And it becomes a very tragic situation. And not only do they possibly end the bullies, but they're also ending the people that they might have confided in, that did not help, that did not do anything. So that person's angry. That kid that's been bullied is angry at everybody that maybe that kid opened up to that person, and that person did not do anything about it. So they are just as guilty in their minds, in those poor twisted kids' minds. And I know, it's like, okay, you're taking the side of the killer. I'm not taking the side of anybody that takes anyone's life like that at all. That's horrible. But what I will say is this: I understand when it comes to the aspect of bullying. I understand what happens in the mind and how much torture it can be on someone when you're being bullied. All right? I get it. I understand. But the thing is, nowadays, you can't just go and punch somebody in the face. You can't just go ahead and hurt somebody that way. Not kill them, maybe hospitalize them, but you can't even do that anymore. You have to just take it. Everything has to be completely passive. And you have to pardon the pregnant pause there, okay? You have to pardon me on that one. I'm just kind of trying to keep my thoughts in order, okay? And by the way, I'm not going to, we're at a toy store. There's no enthusiasm in that this go around. I'm not doing that right now. Maybe later we'll see what happens. But, when these kids, they get bullied. And then the other kid getting bullied comes back to the school and just takes a life and takes a life and takes a life and takes a life. And then maybe injures somebody. But no one ever looks at the fact that, not really, no one ever does any, you never see on the news that there's been any investigation into the bullying side of things. Like, this kid was being picked on and picked on and picked on and picked on and bullied. See, there's a lot of people nowadays, they look at it like, well, hey, man, you just need to grow a backbone. You just need to know how to take it. Well, they're kids. They're kids. They're not adults. They don't have that kind of seasoning. They're kids. And you know how kids can be. Kids can be really mean and really cruel. Hateful even to other kids for no good friggin' reason. And sometimes maybe it's just a class thing, it's like they consider themselves to be an upper class as far as maybe a financial thing. They're wealthy, they're rich, and they're picking on the poor kid. I don't know. But the thing I do know is the fact that you do not hardly ever hear about any investigations going on into the bullies. Okay, why? Because they were the victims, they got shot and killed? Right? So nobody wants to investigate the victims, the ones that died. No, because they were victims, because they got shot. There's so much sympathy laid on top of them that maybe they caused it to happen. Maybe they were such heinous, evil, cruel people that just got off, just enjoyed picking on someone to the point where that person being picked on had just had enough. And I'm not saying it's justified at all. There is no justification for taking a life like that. Absolutely not. But things have got to be investigated so much further than what they are half the time. Bullying will never stop. It won't. You can do all the rallies, you can do all the gatherings, the get-togethers, the fundraisers. You can do all this stuff to try to end bullying, end bullying, end bullying. You are going to end bullying about as much as you're going to end cancer. And technically, in some respects, bullying itself is a cancer. But kids are going to be kids. They're going to be mean and cruel if they want to be. Because for some strange reason, for whatever reason, some kids just get off on it. And then they take that into being an adult. They do. They take that into being an adult and they become a mean, cruel adult. And I guarantee you most of them have probably served jail time at some point. And you know what? A lot of them probably look at it like they look at jail time like it's a badge of honor. But the simple fact, and again, I have information that I'm not sure is correct. And until I find out, until it's verified, I'm not going to share it. So I'm just going to go on what my assumption was. And the fact that boy, I'm assuming it's a boy. I don't even know if it was, I can't remember. So let's just remove the word boy, okay? That kid. That one kid went into a bathroom to confront another kid, it sounds like, and then pulled out a gun. So you know that was premeditated. You know that kid got up that morning and decided, I'm taking a gun to school. And then, apparently it got heated. And maybe it got heated before that, and that's why the gun came out. But I don't think so. I think that person already had in mind what they were going to do when they went to school that day. And fortunately, the situation did not escalate into a mass situation. I don't know if I'm going to discuss this further, but that's pretty much it. So, folks, I apologize if that brought you all down. That was not my intention. But, I just want to give my feelings on that. It's just, just the fact, just miles away from a hunt, as I'm doing a hunt, miles away, somebody gets shot. Some kid gets shot. Some kid shoots another kid. It's awful. It's awful, and something needs to be done about it. But that is just, gosh, how many times have you heard that over the years, over the decades? But folks, that's it for right now. So in case I don't get back out, I'm calling it a hunt done. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to me rant and vent and vamp and ramble and babble and jibber jabber and all that good stuff. But for right now, I'm the Bygone Hunter. You're not. Adios. All right, folks, I'm back out on the hunt. I went back to home base and did some things I needed to do, take care of some things I needed to take care of. I'm back out on the hunt, and I'm just gonna try to push on through this morning. How about that? It's still morning, and I still need to go to We Are Not a Toy Store, the band Walmart, and then I'm gonna head over to Ross. In fact, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna head over to Ross first, because Ross is just now getting ready to open. So I wanna hit there hopefully right as they open, and if not right as they open, then maybe just a minute or two after, knowing full well that with all the scalpers in my area, which are organized in this area, that every minute counts sometimes, And with Ross pretty much becoming Scalperville, one of the many Scalpervilles in this area, you pretty much have to try to get there when the doors open. So we're gonna see what happens. Yeah, folks, look, I appreciate if you're still hanging in there with me, especially after this morning, especially after, you know, the conversation here, the monologue here, whatever you want to call it. You know, it hasn't been very energetic. It hasn't been very uplifting. It hasn't been anything but kind of down and depressing in a way. And I'm not trying to fake it, folks. I'm just not, because this situation with that school, it does affect me. It does. And yeah, not personally. I don't know anybody at that school. It's a whole other state away, but I do know full well that, and I apologize if the sun is messing up the screen. I'll throw something up there to keep the majority of that you know, the screen being all messed up from all the specks and the dirt and everything else in the inside of my camera that I can't get to. I'll put something up to block all that. But anyhow, yeah, I don't know anybody at that school. I don't know anybody. Just the sheer fact. And yes, I know there's some people thinking, man, you're just working this, man, you're milking this, man. No, I'm not. I'm not. And yes, I was 10 minutes away roughly, right? 10 minutes, at least that's what they tell me. 10 minutes. So I was nowhere near the situation when that school went into lockdown. But you know, it brings it home, folks. It brings it home. You know, when I'm you know, there have been so many times in the past where at work, you know, we had to go through these drills all the time, active shooter drills all the time. And you never knew if one was going to happen, if a real active shooter situation was not going to occur. And so many people didn't take it seriously. They didn't at all. They did not take it seriously. Grown freaking men and women who just goof around. It's just like tornado drills. They don't give a crap. They don't give a crap. How can we teach our children to take anything seriously when we as adults, I'm removing myself from that because trust me, I take every freaking thing seriously, sometimes too seriously. But how can we teach our kids to take things seriously when as adults, we're so blasé about everything? Honestly, really. And I remember there's just so many times we have those active shooter drills. And, you know, you're not supposed to be on your phones. You're not supposed to be doing this or doing that or having conversations. And they did. Because they didn't take it seriously. Because it wasn't real. It was a drill. It wasn't real. And then when the real thing happens, when reality actually occurs, then everybody's just so shocked and surprised. But this thing could happen any time, any day of the week, any week of the month, any month of the year. It could still happen. But nobody, again, adults, just, it's amazing how grown people, grown men and women who have children, grown men and women who might be pillars of society, do not take some of this stuff seriously until it actually occurs. And that's a shame. That's a shame. And to come to find out that that school has never instituted any kind of metal detection system when you first walk in the door. No metal detection, no x-ray, no nothing. Nothing. And why? Because they felt like they were safe. They felt like everything was safe. It's never going to happen in our town, never going to happen in our school. Never. And I know every school nowadays seems to have some kind of law enforcement officer as a part of the school now. So maybe they thought, oh, okay, that's just a cost-saving way of taking care of the situation. Even so, a 14-year-old child, a kid. And yes, 14 years old, you're still a kid. You're still a child. A 14-year-old kid walked into that school with a handgun. So yeah, it still burns me up. It burns me up, and it continues to burn me up for right now. And again, if you don't want to keep watching, then don't. If you don't want to listen to me rant and ramble and all that garbage, don't. Don't. I don't want you to. But I want to talk about it. I want to go ahead and just get the emotions out, get the things out. Because this stuff is occurring way too often anymore. Way too much. There's too much of this crap that keeps happening over and over and over and over again. And I know people are so frustrated. Parents are frustrated. They're terrified to send their kids to school. They're terrified to put their kids in any kind of public environment. That's why there's so many homeschool kids nowadays. Because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know when your child is out of your sight. And that is why so many parents nowadays, especially the millennials, oh my gosh, these millennials, they have become such helicopter parents now. They are controlling every aspect of their children's lives to the point where they are tracking their kids on their phones or putting little tags on them or whatever. It's insane. And part of it is because they don't trust their kids, part of it. But another part of it is because they don't trust society. They don't trust the world around them. They don't. And they bring a kid into this world. Into this dangerous, dangerous world that it's become. And they're afraid. They're perfectly fine with them as long as they are right there with them at all times. But when they're out of sight, wow, and I understand, folks, I understand, I get it. I understand why. It is very dangerous nowadays. Look, you want to have a kid, go ahead, have a kid, have 2, have 3, have 5, have 10. I don't care. But you have to understand that there are consequences to your actions. You're going to have a kid, but you're bringing that kid up into a world now that is so much more dangerous, unfortunately. Unless you live in a gated community and everything or everybody around you, it's all, very, very tight-knit. And 100% everyone around you. Everyone around you has been vetted left and right. That's not the way it is in most cases. It's not. And it's a whole different world than what it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30, 40. And I know because I have grown up in all those decades. I've grown up 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s. And now we're in the 2020s. I've seen it. I've watched it. And things just do not seem to be getting better. And people's attitudes about all of it, their attitudes are absolutely, they boggle the mind sometimes. Because as terrified as they are about something happening to their kids, it's amazing how in other aspects of their lives, they are so blasé about things. Oh, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Except when it comes to their children. Very strange. Anyway, I have been sitting here in the Ross parking lot, getting all that out. Probably going to get out some more too. Who knows? But, yeah, I'm heading into Ross. So will it be a disappointment? Will it be a delight? Will it be boom? Will it be bust? Heading on in to find out. All right. right, let's see what we have over here. Anything different? Finally get in here where I can get over to this register side. So let's see if there's anything to find. Yeah, it doesn't really appear like there is. Let's see. Okay, nothing there. Let's see. Don't want to mess anything up here for them. It looks like there's some Superman comics back there. Yeah. A lot of stuff in these cases. Looks like a lot of cards are putting in these lock boxes. Yeah, I see Captain America there, or Falcon America. Wow, a lot of these trading card, game cards. They got them in boxes now. Oh, go ahead, you can go ahead. No problem. Let's see, you got this over here, and they got Raphael there, old man Raphael. Looks like it's gonna be it. So let's keep, okay, so take a look at this. This is not, folks, this is not a Funko Pop. This is something by what's called Fly Guys, apparently. Very Funko Pop related looking here, you know. At first glance, you probably think it, especially with the head, you know, being all distorted. I got something here. I don't know if it's by Fly Guys or not, but it's something else as well. Doesn't say Funko Pop, so I don't know. I don't see anything else. So let's just keep moving. All right. Ooh, look at that. That is a big set right there. That's cool. Check that out. For generic, that's really neat. And it's $22.99 for that giant thing. That's pretty sweet. I got some down here too. Look at that. Even more. So that's pretty cool. What's that? That's 20. If you like the generics, you can get them pretty cheap. Anything up there? Die-cast metal. Let's just stick with this aisle first. There's this top shelf first. See if there's anything new, anything different. Still on the hunt for that 1940s Max Fleischer Superman. Will it be here? Who knows? There's some Superman comics again. I don't see anything. And there's that there's that multicolor rainbow Elvira. Oh my gosh, Elvira. Over the rainbow Elvira, mistress of the not so dark. Jeez. Ugh. I think it's 20. Yeah, that's she's 20. Is anybody really going to spend $20 on a multicolor rainbow Elvira? Who knows? Who knows? Not seeing anything, folks. And it's not as much of a mess right now because the store just opened, so that's helpful for me, but you know, still might have some digging to do, but hopefully not. Hopefully I can see whatever there. What is this? Hold on. Okay, this is a puzzle. FIFA World Cup. And somebody tore into it. Look at it, trying to steal something out of it. Isn't that crazy? Why? Why? What is so special about it? Why? Why would somebody want that? Oh boy. See anything? Hey, you know what? I don't see, unless they moved them up top, I don't see any more of those Transformers. Those very expensive Transformers. The ones that have the security things on them, like that. That's something else got security things. Super Mario. Let me see what this is. Why does it have security on it? Oh, it's Lego. No wonder. So we're putting security on Lego now. Look at that. That tells you what we've gotten to. Wow. Mario Kart, Super Mario, and it's got a security thing on it. Wow. How much is this? $35. That is sad when you have to put security on Lego. Oh, no. They have one. I see one down there. So who knows? Maybe they'll have some more. It's not like I'm going to get it. I can't afford that. That's just too much. $50 or $55 for that? No, I can't do it. Can't do it. He's still here. Ace Duck. It'd be nice if they dropped the price on that. Let's see. Problem is when you play the long game here in Scalperville, it's it may not be beneficial to you in the end. You might be disappointed. There's nothing down there. I'm not seeing anything on that side because that's all school stuff and school supplies and art supplies and stuff like that. So not really, nothing really showing up as anything. Just doing one last look-see to see if there's anything else. But apparently a couple of those Transformers are gone. It looks like Grimlock sold. Was he 30, 35, something like that? And at least I guess 2 of those Transformers, there's only one left. They had 3 of them. So only 2 of those Transformers are gone. So that's crazy. Build your own classroom. Look at that. Huh. Wizarding World. Oh, it's Harry Potter. It's a big Harry Potter set. Oh, okay. Let's see. Interesting. Well, yeah. Oh, look, we got some more Lego stuff. It's got security stuff on it. Wow. Yeah, is that Harry Potter too? No, it's some kind of French cafe. I don't know. But it's crazy when you see Lego sets with security. So let's see, how much is that going for here at Ross? 60 bucks. 60 bucks for that. And you hear that? Hear that? There's a lot of pieces there. That's too many pieces for me. I don't have the time or the patience to put something like that together. But and wow, they got a lot of these grapplings now, these grappling hooks, or whatever you call them. Grapnel launchers. Yeah, the launchers. Grapnel launchers. But there's nothing else. Nothing else, folks. That's a shame. And they got more of the Batman Beyond Batarangs. But nothing really else. Nothing else is screaming out at me. I wish they would have gotten in the Batman 66, and they very well might have. Those probably sold out. People probably grab those very quickly, collectors as well as scalpers. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything else, so I guess that's it, folks. Let's just consider it to be a hunt done. All right, folks, you saw what I saw, and that being nothing to see here, and SSDD, same stuff, different day. Yeah, I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry that I'm gonna stop apologizing. What the heck? No, I'm gonna stop apologizing for not being all up and amped like I usually am. Okay, like most of the time I am. I'm not gonna stop apologizing for that because it's just not gonna be the case right now. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. But you saw what I saw. Really, it's just the same stuff. They've gotten more of those Batman Beyond Batarangs, as well as the those grapnel launchers, those Batman animated grapnel launchers. Those just pieces of plastic. Anyway, are they worth $10? I don't know. I have no clue. But yeah, it's just, I'm bummed. And you know the all right, folks. Welcome back to yet another afternoon edition of the Feast or Famine Toy Hunt. Will it be disappointment? Will it be delight? Will it be boom? Or will it be bust? Well, that all depends on that all depends on this store right here now, doesn't it? The store that I'm heading into, and it is not a toy store. No, it's not that, folks. It is GameStop number 2. Yeah, I got myself back out and decided to save on a little bit of battery power here. So I'm just filming as I enter the parking lot. But you know, I'm really not up for this right now. I mean, yeah, it's still bugging me. It's still bugging me. Everything I've talked about this morning, everything that happened yesterday, everything about that school shooting is just eating at me, eating away at me. And I'm trying not to let it, but it really is. And the one thing I don't have enough time to discuss right now, but I might discuss tomorrow, we'll see, tomorrow morning. The whole thing that's irritating me is about how did a 9th grader, how did a 14-year-old boy get a handgun into that school? How did he come in possession of that handgun, and how did he get it into that school? You know what? I might discuss that after. I might talk about a little bit more about that after I leave here. But anyhow, GameStop, scalper stop, whatever you want to call it. Will it be disappointment? Will it be delight? Will it be boom? Will it be bust? Heading on in to find out. Still got the droids. Check that out. Hey, and that card's not messed up either. Means they got another one in. So look at that. Still got all the droids there. I can't get over how they're just shelf warming, but they are. Let's see what else there is to see. All right, let's see what we have. Look at that. Got Hawk Girl, Sinestro's in the back. And there is Sentinel. And I noticed something about Sentinel, which I didn't notice before. Hold on a second. That Sentinel never had a belt. If I remember right. Yeah, look, that's how the costume's supposed to look. And they gave him a belt. They cut off that area and they gave him a belt. Very, very strange. And there's a Black Adam. Let's see what else. Lobo looks like. We got Poison Ivy. Two Poison Ivies, two the same. Huh. You got the Golden Age Wonder Woman. Got another Batman right there. And anything else? Got a Wonder Woman there. Got a Wonder Woman on that end. Is there anything? There's Black Mask. Anything else? Kid Flash back there hiding. And I'm really trying not to pull, knock anything off these things. So, try to be careful. And so that Wonder Woman there, Supergirl. And there's Sweet Melissa right there. And then we got Millie Alcox. Okay, well, let's see what's on the other side. How about that? See what we got over here. Okay, Cable. Cable's there hanging around. Electro front and center. And Constrictor. Falcon, yes, there are Falcons there. Falcon was down there. So some of these are sold. Some have sold. Either that or they're reallocating to the other stores. Now look at this. A Spider-Man blocky. Now that's interesting. Oh, it's a rival. Okay, so it's rivals. Which means the costume's going to be a little odd. Yeah, see how the costume's different? I don't like it. I don't like that costume. Let's see what else. Anything else? Pretty much same old, I guess. Sorry I showed that, didn't I? Okay, well, I guess that's it. So, nothing else to see. Hey, how's it going? Pretty good. I don't see anything there. Electro's still hanging. And we got Ghost Rider. Yeah, that is a really cool fig right there. That is I'm glad I picked that up. And I just don't see what we'll call it a hunt done. Okay, maybe I'm late to the dance, but I just realized I had an idea of what they might have done with the Sentinel figure. They used the exact same body buck. You see that right there? The Golden Age Alan Scott, right there. Now look, right there. That's all they did. That's all they did. And if you even look at the glove, those aren't gloves, those are sleeves. There's the same sleeves right there. So that's all they did. He's a repaint. He's a freaking repaint. And in fact, if you look down here, you can see the same cross hatching right there. And even with the lightning bolt, yeah, that lightning bolt cross hatching banding down there on the boots. They just repainted him. No wonder he hadn't sold. All right, so I get it now. All right, now hunt done. Okay, folks. All right, you saw what I saw. And man, that really bugs me now. Sentinel is officially off the table. I do not want Sentinel at all after putting them side by side with the Golden Age. The Golden Age Alan Scott version. I do not want that Sentinel figure now because he is nothing more than a cheap repaint. That is just lousy. I can't stand when they're constantly reusing the same body parts, reusing the same bodies, reusing the same bucks. I mean, come on. It's ridiculous, and it's worth it. Stop wasting your money on this, people. Stop doing it. Even the completists out there, just stop doing it. Stop spending your freaking hard-earned money on these cheap repaints that aren't cheap financially. It's pathetic, it's ridiculous. And if you do collect these repaints where you can clearly see that they are repaints, that they are not changing anything up, and you can actually see the other figure underneath that cheap freaking repaint, God, man, you know, pass it on by. Add it to the list. Add it to the list of Hawk Girl. Add it to the list with Captain Carrot and anybody else you can think of. Just cheap freaking repaint. I hate that. Bugs me. It really bugs me. So anyhow, I know. You're gonna have those McFarlane fanatics out there that are just gonna defend Todd left and right and saying, well, he's just trying to save money on his way out. At least he's putting out a figure. At least he's making an attempt to put out a figure. Well, that's great. But do it the right way. Do it the right way. Stop just giving us these cheap freaking repaints that you can clearly see the other figure underneath. It's garbage. It's garbage, and there's no excuse for it because you do have other options, other body bucks you can use. There's plenty out there. I'm sure you do. Why do you just continuously feel the need? All right, well, enough of that. Enough of that. I'm going to move on from there. But anyway, you saw what I saw. And I'm not going to say nothing to see here because there was some stuff to see. But the problem is, it's scalper stop. So all the stuff's way overpriced. They even had 2 of those Wonder Woman figures that I want. Just want one. Just want one, people. But the problem being, they're too expensive. I don't have the money for that right now. So that's why I'm holding out hope that one of my 2 Wally Worlds is going to get something. Alright, so anyhow, I guess I'm going to call it. I'm going to say hunt done, and I'll get to the end stuff in a moment, alright? But I want to get back to the stuff that nobody really wants to listen to, and if you don't, just end it here, move on to something else, alright? But I want to get back to this because it just is bugging the ever-living snot out of me. I'm not kidding. But I want to know, and I'm hoping at some point it's going to come out soon, how did that boy get that gun to begin with? How did he end up with a handgun? Then, how did he get that gun in the school? Now, that school, from what I've understood, that school has never had any kind of security when it comes to, like the high-tech security. Like, they don't have metal detectors. They don't have x-ray machines. They don't have anything like that when you walk in the door. None of that stuff. And also, from what I understand, that school right there, that school is the oldest school in that town. So maybe they don't have the funds. Maybe they don't have the money to outfit that school. And I'm sure if they have to outfit that school, then they have to outfit all the other schools in the district as well, in the area. That takes money. And depending on how wealthy the town is, and by the looks of the town, it doesn't look very wealthy. But depending on how wealthy that town is, that's just going to depend on whether they're going to put anything in there or not. Now, from what I do understand, they did have a sheriff's deputy. That's pretty much a part of the staff. You know, they have a police presence there. And but still, it didn't stop a 14-year-old, a 9th grader, from bringing a gun into that school. It didn't. It just didn't. And that's sad. That is the sad part. That is the part that just absolutely eats away at me. Because the situation could have been so much worse. It could have been. And it's going to come out eventually what happened. Yeah, I'm sure it will. And then everybody's going to find out the truth of what happened. Why were there 2 kids in the bathroom? We're having an altercation. And here's the thing. I mentioned this earlier this morning when I brought this up. But, you know, when you're in high school, even back when I was in high school, the bathroom is the last place that you want to get trapped in when you have somebody that doesn't like you. You don't want to get stuck in that bathroom. You don't want to get trapped in there. Because for decades upon decades, we have these kids that are just getting beat up. They get beat up, they get pants, they get wedgied, they get their heads swirled in the toilet. We got all this stuff. And no, folks, it's not just a part of Revenge of the Nerds. Okay, it's not. It's a part of bullying. It's bully tactic. It's garbage. Absolute garbage. And it needs to stop. All of it needs to stop. But still, I don't know if bullying was a part of this. Who knows? It may not have been. It may be completely, you know, a whole different situation. We don't know what the situation is right now. And I'm not going to put any sympathy on either one of these kids. None. Because I don't know the facts. The only facts we know right now is that one kid went ahead and pulled a gun out and shot the other kid in the leg, and that's it. I mean, this could be anybody's school. This could be any hometown. And here's the thing, too. Maybe that school never outfitted themselves, possibly because they don't have the money, but also because they just were looking at it like, it's never happened to us. It's never happened to us, and I don't think it ever will. Because we're too much of a small town for something like that to happen to. That happens in bigger towns. Yes, it does. That happens in bigger towns. Surely it wouldn't happen in Warner Robins, Georgia. And apparently it never has. But then at some point, it did. And that was yesterday. Now, it wasn't one of those active shooter situations where, you know, somebody's coming in there and just blowing the place up and taking out teacher and student and everybody. You know, it wasn't that kind of a situation at all. It could have possibly gotten to that point. Hopefully, you know, that wasn't what the kid had in mind. But it's just sad, people. It's sad. It's so sad. We have got to do something when it comes to these guns. We have got to do something when it comes to getting these guns out of the hands of these kids. And also, just get the guns out of the hands of these freaking crazy people that just want to take a weapon anywhere and commit a crime. Let me tell you something. You know what? We never, in this country right now, and this is going to be very controversial, and this might turn a lot of people off towards me. But we, in this country, because we have that whole cruel and unusual punishment thing going on, we very rarely make the punishment ever fit the crime in this country, right? But what's it gonna take? What's it gonna take to get this stuff to straighten out? How about some fear? Put some serious, serious fear into people. How about, here's an idea, here's a crazy idea, absolutely insane idea. But let's see what y'all think about it. The comments are down there. How about anybody that deliberately commits a crime, that uses a handgun to commit a crime, how about not only do you go to jail, not only do you possibly go to prison, depending on if you killed the person or not, but the hand that you use to hold that weapon, kiss it goodbye. Complete and total amputation, gone. So we're going to still have either we're still going to have a big problem on our hands when it comes to, people using the guns, or we're going to have a lot of one-handed people out there. Or it's just going to straighten, it's all going to get straightened out. The fear of that possibility happening will straighten out the situation. Well, that's it, folks. I'm done. Hunt done. I'm not doing anything else. I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for listening to me rant, especially rant. Forget all the babbling and jibber-jabbering and yammering and all that. I'm talking about the rant today, because I had a lot to get off my chest. And I might even have some more tomorrow. I don't know. I hope not. I hope not. But thank you again for watching. I do appreciate it. If you'd like to like, subscribe, leave a comment, please do. But as for right now, hunt done. And from right here in the Bygone Mobile, I am the Bygone Hunter. You're not. Adios.